Have you ever gone through a period of intense struggle, repeating the same painful patterns, facing the same obstacles, only to wake up one day and feel an unexpected sense of release? As if a weight you didn't even know you were carrying has finally lifted? According to Carl Jung, this could be a profound spiritual signal. Your karmic debt may have been paid off. Karmic debt, in Jung's view, isn't about cosmic punishment. It's the unresolved energy from past actions, unconscious patterns, and unfinished soul lessons that keep us stuck in cycles of suffering. But here's the key: these debts aren't lifelong sentences. When you've truly learned what you needed to learn, when you've faced your shadows and integrated their lessons, the universe sends you unmistakable signs that you're free. And today, we're diving into the 4 biggest ones. These signs aren't always dramatic. Sometimes, there's subtle shifts in how you think, what you attract, and how you move through the world. But once you recognize them, you'll realize you're not the same person you used to be. Sign number 1. Emotional liberation. The first and perhaps most profound sign that your karmic debt has been cleared is a deep, almost inexplicable sense of emotional liberation. For years, you may have carried the weight of old guilt, lingering shame, or unresolved resentment, emotions that colored your perceptions, influenced your decisions, and even shaped the relationships you attracted. But suddenly, without any forced effort, you realize these heavy emotions no longer have a grip on you. The past, which once felt like an anchor dragging you down, now seems like a distant story, one you can recall without the sharp sting of pain. This isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending to be over something. It's an organic, almost alchemical shift in your inner world. Where there was once turmoil, there's now a quiet neutrality. Carl Jung would describe this transformation as the unconscious finally releasing its projections. When we carry unresolved karma, our psyche has a way of replaying old wounds in new situations, projecting past betrayals onto present relationships, or past failures onto current opportunities. But when that debt is resolved, the projections dissolve. You stop seeing ghosts of the past in the faces of people you meet. You no longer react to certain triggers with the same intensity because the emotional charge behind them has dissipated. Jung believed that true healing happens when we integrate these buried fragments of ourselves, bringing them from the shadows of the unconscious into the light of awareness. And when that integration occurs, the weight lifts naturally. You might notice the shift in small but significant ways. For example, someone who once hurt you deeply comes to mind, and instead of the usual surge of anger or sadness, you feel nothing but calm detachment, not the cold indifference of avoidance, but a genuine sense of peace. Or perhaps those recurring nightmares that used to haunt you, the ones where you're being chased or falling or screaming without sound, simply stop appearing. Your anxiety, which once felt like a constant hum in the background of your life, begins to fade, leaving room for a quieter, more steady presence. These changes don't usually happen overnight, but when you look back, you'll recognize the progression. Where there was once chaos, there's now space. To deepen this awareness, try a simple but powerful journaling exercise. Set aside time to reflect on the emotions that once dominated your inner landscape. Write down the names of people or situations that used to trigger strong reactions in you, rage, guilt, grief, and then note how you feel about them now. Do they still hold the same power? Or has the intensity softened? This isn't about judging yourself for still feeling something, but about observing the subtle shifts. Often, we don't realize how far we've come until we consciously compare our past and present responses. Emotional liberation doesn't mean you'll never feel pain again. It means the pain no longer defines you. And when you reach that point, you'll know your karmic debt has been repaid. Sign number 2, synchronicities and flow. There comes a point when life begins to unfold with an almost magical ease, where the right opportunities seem to arrive at just the right moment and obstacles that once felt immovable dissolve without struggle. This isn't mere luck or wishful thinking, it's a tangible shift in the energy surrounding you. Carl Jung called these moments synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that defy logical explanation but carry a deep, intuitive resonance. They are the universe's way of whispering that you're no longer fighting against the current, but flowing with it. When your karmic debt is cleared, synchronicities become more than fleeting moments of serendipity. They become a recurring language, a sign that you're in alignment with your truest self. Jung believed synchronicities were evidence of the unconscious mind merging with the outer world, a bridge between the inner and outer realms of existence. These aren't random events, but reflections of an internal shift. Think of it like this: when you're burdened by unresolved karma, your energy is scattered, your intentions conflicted, and your path obscured. But once that debt is settled, your focus sharpens, your vibrations rise, and the universe responds in kind. Suddenly, you meet someone who holds the exact piece of wisdom you needed to hear. A book falls into your hands at the perfect time, answering a question you've been quietly carrying. Doors open where there were once only walls. These moments feel too precise to be accidents because they aren't. They're confirmations that you're exactly where you're meant to be. You might notice this in the way relationships unfold. Someone enters your life unexpectedly, offering guidance, collaboration, or love in a way that feels divinely timed. Or perhaps an old problem, one that used to leave you feeling stuck and frustrated, now resolves itself with surprising grace. Where you once had to force outcomes, things now fall into place almost effortlessly. It's important to recognize, though, that this flow isn't about passivity. You're still taking action, but the action feels inspired rather than desperate. There's a difference between chasing and allowing, between grasping and receiving. The key is trust, trusting that the universe is conspiring in your favor, even when the path isn't fully visible. But here's the crucial warning: this state of flow cannot be forced. The moment you try to manufacture synchronicities, obsessively looking for signs, overanalyzing every coincidence, you disrupt the very energy you're hoping to harness. Synchronicity arises from authenticity, not manipulation. It's the result of inner alignment, not external desperation. So if you're not yet experiencing this effortless rhythm, don't panic. It doesn't mean you're behind or doing something wrong. These moments come when you're ready, not when you demand them. The best thing you can do is stay open, stay present, and release the need to control how and when the magic appears. When you do, you'll find that life doesn't just happen to you, it happens for you. And that's when you'll know your karmic debt has been repaid in full. Sign number 3, breaking toxic cycles. There comes a profound moment in your journey when you realize you're no longer trapped in the same destructive patterns that once defined your life. The toxic relationships that drained you, the situations that left you feeling powerless, the recurring dramas that seem to follow you no matter where you went, they simply stop appearing in your reality. This isn't coincidence, it's the universe showing you that a fundamental karmic cycle has been completed. Where you once attracted chaos, you now attract peace. Where you once tolerated disrespect, you now command dignity without effort. This shift occurs not because the world has changed, but because you have. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow is crucial here. He taught that we unconsciously replay painful patterns until we confront and integrate the disowned parts of ourselves that fuel them. For example, if you constantly found yourself in relationships where you were taken for granted, it likely mirrored an unhealed part of you that believed you didn't deserve better. Through shadow work, facing these hidden wounds with brutal honesty, you reclaim the power you'd previously given away. The moment you fully accept that you are worthy of respect, you'll notice something remarkable. People who disrespect you either transform their behavior or disappear from your life entirely. The universe stops sending you those lessons because you've finally learned them. You'll recognize this shift in tangible ways. Setting boundaries becomes second nature, not through forced assertiveness, but from an organic knowing of your worth. Where you once agonized over saying no, or felt guilty for prioritizing yourself, you now do so with quiet confidence. Similarly, old triggers lose their potency. That comment that used to send you into a spiral of self-doubt now rolls off your back. The situation that previously would have ruined your week barely phases you. This isn't suppression or numbness, it's liberation. The emotional hooks that once snagged you no longer find anything to attach to because you've healed the wounds they exploited. To solidify this transformation, try this powerful exercise. Identify one toxic cycle you've recently broken. It could be a pattern in relationships, always choosing emotionally unavailable partners, work dynamics, consistently being overworked and underappreciated, or self-sabotaging behaviors, procrastination, negative self-talk. Write down how this pattern used to manifest in your life, then describe how it shows up now, if it even does at all. Most importantly, note what changed within you to create this shift. Was it a realization? A moment of courage? A decision to value yourself more? This reflection grounds your growth in conscious awareness, proving to yourself that the change is real. Breaking toxic cycles is perhaps the most visible sign that your karmic debt has been resolved. The lessons have been learned, the contracts completed. You're no longer the person who needed those painful experiences because they've served their purpose. They've led you back to yourself. Now, your life isn't about repeating old patterns. It's about creating new ones from a place of wholeness rather than lack, from choice rather than compulsion. And that's when you'll know you're finally free. Sign number 4. A shift in life purpose. One of the most profound indicators that your karmic debt has been resolved emerges not in what you're doing, but in why you're doing it. Where once your ambitions may have been fueled by external validation, climbing the corporate ladder, accumulating wealth, or maintaining a certain image, you now feel an undeniable pull toward pursuits that align with your soul's deeper calling. This transition from ego-driven goals to soul-driven purpose doesn't happen overnight. It's a quiet but seismic shift in your values and priorities. The things that used to matter so intensely, status, approval, material success, begin to feel hollow, while activities that nourish your spirit take center stage. This is the essence of what Carl Jung called individuation, the process of becoming who you were always meant to be, beyond societal conditioning or inherited expectations. Jung believed that our true purpose isn't something we invent, but something we discover, or rather, uncover, as we peel away the layers of who we thought we should be. When karmic debts are cleared, the false self, the persona crafted to please others, begins to dissolve, making way for the authentic self to emerge. You might find yourself suddenly willing to walk away from what looks like security on paper, a prestigious job, a comfortable routine, because it no longer resonates with who you're becoming. Or perhaps creative impulses you've long ignored begin demanding expression, whether through art, writing, or entrepreneurial ventures that feel risky but right. This isn't midlife crisis, it's soul-level clarity. The universe has a way of removing what no longer serves you to make space for what does, even when the transition feels uncomfortable. Consider the person who leaves a lucrative law career to teach yoga, or the executive who trades boardrooms for volunteer work in developing countries. These aren't reckless decisions, but responses to an inner knowing that can no longer be quieted. You may notice this shift in subtler ways too. Hobbies you once dismissed as unproductive now feel essential to your well-being, or conversations about spirituality and personal growth become more compelling than gossip or small talk. Money and achievement don't lose all importance, but they cease to be the primary measures of your worth. Instead, you find yourself asking questions like, does this path bring me joy? Does this work contribute something meaningful? And most revealingly, what would I do if no one judged me? That last question cuts to the heart of karmic resolution. When you're no longer bound by others' expectations, you're free to follow your soul's compass. This stage of transformation often brings a paradoxical mix of fear and exhilaration. On one hand, stepping into your true purpose can feel terrifying because it usually involves uncertainty, letting go of the familiar to embrace the unknown. Yet there's an unmistakable rightness to the path, as if you're finally coming home to yourself. Synchronicities increase, resources appear when needed, and you encounter mentors or allies who support your journey. The universe conspires to assist those brave enough to honor their calling. If you're experiencing this pull toward authenticity, don't ignore it. Start small if you must. Dedicate an hour a day to your passion, or explore service opportunities without abandoning your current responsibilities, but start. Your soul doesn't speak in whispers forever. Eventually, it will demand to be heard. When your purpose shifts from proving yourself to expressing yourself, you'll know your karmic debt has been repaid. No longer chained to past conditioning, you're free to create a life that reflects who you truly are, not who you thought you had to be. This is the ultimate gift of cleared karma, the permission to stop striving and start thriving, guided not by fear, but by the quiet, unshakable knowing that you're exactly where you're meant to be, and that the best is yet to come. As we've explored today, the resolution of karmic debt doesn't come with a dramatic announcement. It reveals itself through subtle but profound shifts in your lived experience. First, through emotional liberation, where old wounds lose their grip and forgiveness flows naturally. Second, in synchronicities and flow, where life begins to unfold with effortless alignment. Third, by breaking toxic cycles, where you stop attracting the same painful patterns. And finally, through a shift in purpose, where your soul's calling drowns out the noise of ego and expectation. If you're recognizing these signs in your own life, take a moment to honor how far you've come. Your soul is evolving, and the universe is responding. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about progression. Every small step toward awareness, every moment of choosing authenticity over fear, contributes to your karmic healing. If this video resonated with you, it's likely because you're already on this path, so don't stop here. Hit like and subscribe to stay aligned with content that supports your growth. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 4 signs resonated most deeply with your experience? Share in the comments below. Your story might be the confirmation someone else needs to trust their own transformation. For those ready to go deeper, in our next video we'll explore practical ways to accelerate your karmic healing, how to identify lingering lessons, clear residual energy, and step fully into the next chapter of your soul's journey. Until then, pay attention to the signs. The universe is always speaking. Your only job is to listen. Thank you for watching, and remember, the heaviest debts, once paid, become the greatest wisdom. See you in the next one.